Hello there, and welcome to Mega Man X3. My name is Eric, I call myself Demon Alchemist, and we're moving on to the third Mega Man X game now. This one is different in some ways. Namely, that it's way harder than X1 and X2. I think it's actually harder than any of X1 through 5. X6 and X7 have some really annoying parts. Although, this game's not, like, unreasonable. It's just fairly tough. I still think it's pretty fun. I was just replaying it the other day and a little more today, and I was having fun. I might like it a little more than I thought I did. Not that I didn't like it, but I was a little harsh on it because of a few things that we'll get to. It has a longer, like, title screen idle cutscene. But I guess ignore the border for the sake of spoiler, I guess. I didn't really think of that, but it's fine. The neurocomputer. There's a new Sigma-esque logo with the Doppler logo. I like Dr. Doppler's design. You can see him on the right there. He's a bit over-designed, probably, but he's cool. Pretty straightforward story here. So far, no hint of Sigma. Oh, I like this shot. Oh, an interesting fact, actually. This shot reminds me, the art style of it. But this game has two different versions with a bunch of little changes. This is the Super Nintendo version. It's the only version that's been re-released on any of the Legacy collections. But there's also a PlayStation version, and I believe a PC version too. I'm not sure if those two are notably different, but the CD versions have full FMV cutscenes that are actually really pretty. This part specifically looks really weird though, because it's not FMV, but it's also not the normal art style of the game. It's a weird, like, in-between, higher resolution than the normal game, but also kind of blurry. It looks really weird. Unfortunately, the most modern way to play the CD version of X3 is on the Mega Man X collection on PS2. I think it also came out on other platforms, maybe? Maybe not. It might just be PS2. It's never gotten another re-release, which is a bummer. I do think... I don't remember if there's actually any, like, gameplay issues with that version. The Mega Man X collection isn't quite as good. Actually, it's specifically this scene, not that one from the intro. And it transitions into gameplay weirdly. It, like, cuts between the two. The weird art style and the normal one. But the Mega Man X collection is not quite as good as the Legacy collections. The emulation isn't perfect. There's some, like, input delay, and I think a few other minor issues. But I don't remember if there's notable gameplay issues with the CD version, or if it's just the visual differences with the cutscenes. And the music. The music has CD audio, and it's great. But here we go. Just like X1 and 2, this is the intro stage, as always with the X series. God! And you can already see one of the main differences. A ton of enemies in this game, just normal enemies, do, like, boss damage on contact. It's crazy. That was, like, one big hit and two little ones, and I'm already that low. That's crazy. Here's Mac. I'm not sure if he has the same name in Japanese. But, oh no. What's he done? You're far too trusting, X. I'm now a member of Doppler's army. You will make a fine addition to our forces once you have been shown the true destiny of the Reploid race. Because we're just the Reploid race, but I get what they're going for. the Mavericks are all about their superiority to humans. Like, well, what's happening? X is the main character. Why is it not following him? Because this is the first game where you get to play as Zero. He's not quite as fun as I think he is in later games. But he's still pretty cool. He's basically just a better Mega Man X, except he... I don't know if he actually takes more damage, but it feels like he does. Because his health bar goes down pretty quick, even though it's like the size of X's maxed out one. Here, what you want to do is start on the left, and then every time a ball goes by, switch sides. That's the best way to avoid getting hit. But basically, he has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 charge levels. Similar to the X2. The first 2 shots are charge shots, and the last one is his Beam Saber, which he uses as a melee attack. He's pretty cool. I actually forgot how this fight worked and died 3 times in a row on my other file where I was playing this. Mac doesn't actually have much health. You just want to basically rail on him and he'll die. I thought that what you do first is break X out like this. I forgot that you do that after beating him in a fight. It felt pretty stupid after that. But I'll check around headquarters again. Be on your guard, X. And let me check a thing. Okay. We'll see what that is in a bit. So we're done playing as Zero now. This is such a brief section. Still cool, though. A nice demonstration of how awesome Zero feels to control. This is a difference as well between the previous 2 games and this one. I'm not 100% sure. But I don't ever remember there being shutters flush with walls. Because in this game specifically, this is the thing I like to do, is just slide down and then go through like that. I think that's really funny. And I don't think you can ever do that in 1 or 2, but I'm not sure. Unfortunately, this is the last X game. Well, fortunately, it's the last X game where you don't start with the air dash. I think. I might be misremembering. You might need to get the leg parts in X4 as well. Still feels weird to not have them after playing all through X2. And as X2 started, and I believe every game after this, the intro stage has you fight a giant mechanoloid instead of like Vile, like in the first game. And at least in X2 and X3, they're really easy. And the one X4 is pretty easy too. The one X5's not as easy, but still not too bad. I don't remember the one from X6. I don't really remember the one from X7. I guess you fight the B thing from Mega Man X1. But generally, they're not too bad. It's just sort of a cool big enemy to beat satisfyingly, I guess. This actually reminds me a lot of the intro stage in Mega Man X5. Except Zero's not like... Well, in my case, usually, X isn't like dying on the ground. Because I usually play as Zero. Once again, he says he can go check on headquarters. Well, why did he come back? He just came back to be like, good job, X. And he went right back. Now we're getting to something I'm not sure other people will agree with me on this, but I don't like the stage select theme in this game that much. And like, it sounds cool, but the reason I don't like it, I'll stop flitting around, is, and I'll let you listen to it for a sec. It's basically build up, build up, build up, fizzle out, over and over again. And it's very unsatisfying to me. I'll just let it play for a sec. That's the whole song. It's just that little like 5-second clip over and over and over again. I like the PC version a little better, or the CD version a little better. But the person I like to start with here is Gravity Beetle. And one of the coolest things in the CD version of X3 is each of the Mavericks has a really cool introduction scene. One of them even has Raitot or Auto from Mega Man X7 or Mega Man 7 and 8, and 9 and 10. Jeez, God, look at that one hit! Oh, but it's really cool. Anyway, Gravity Beetle's who I like to start with. His Japanese name is Gravity Beat Bood, which might be my all-time favorite in the series. It's so dumb. Ow. Ow! No! He's gonna respawn now. I am already not doing great. I know I said I'd be doing much less cleanly in this game, but I didn't mean quite that badly, quite that early. It's not, like, that much harder. You notice there's a heart tank here that we can't get yet. We'll be back momentarily to get that. Thankfully, at least, a lot of the enemies in this game, while they do a lot of damage, they don't have that much health. So a lot of them you can kind of just kill by just mashing shoot. It just depends on positioning as to whether or not you'll still get hit. But so this was the last Mega Man X game released on the Super Nintendo, or Super Famicom in Japan. I think it's one of the last Capcom games on the Super Nintendo. I'm trying to think if any of the other Mega Man spin-offs came out after this. They might have. And I'm not sure when Mega Man and Bass came out. There's also this that we can't get right now. They're just being taunted like crazy. This is a game that I highly recommend going around the levels and exploring before worrying too much about beating the Mavericks. Because a lot of them, I'd say most of them are quite difficult to beat without their weakness. Especially if you have no upgrades or sub-tanks or anything. Ugh. I think that Gravity Beetle is the easiest to beat without his weakness. Although that depends on how good you are at certain patterns. Some of the bosses have pretty easy to follow patterns, but I still end up getting hit more than with Gravity Beetle. So it's... I don't think it's necessarily obvious who is the easiest to start with, but he's my favorite to start. I don't know why I'm picking up all the pickups, even though they're not going to do anything for me. You notice these weird shutters. This is the first game to have two types of boss shutters. Or I say boss shutters, but they're not always bosses. Like, that was just a door. And there's this weird platform here with a Game Explain logo on it that we can't do anything with right now. This game has a lot more collectibles. I think I mentioned that in one of the previous videos, that X3 has a lot more collectibles than X1 and 2, and more than X4 as well. X5's pretty complex too. X6 and X7 both have a specific annoying set of collectibles. There's also a path we can't do right now. That's 3. In this game, every level has exactly 3 collectibles, which I think is actually true in X2 as well. I didn't think to mention that. Every stage has 1 heart tank and either... no, sorry, in X2, every stage has exactly 2 collectibles, I think. Each stage has a heart tank and either a sub-tank or a light capsule, I think. But in this game, every level has exactly 3 collectibles. And we've seen where all 3 of them are, and we can't get any of them on the first visit. And another thing about this game is that the collectibles are a lot harder to get than in previous games. For him, I recommend jumping up, basically staying to the middle of the left wall whenever he fires. Because the first one will bounce like that, and it'll return like that. Ow. Not just the left wall, it's just whatever wall you're against. He'll start doing 2, but they'll still not hit the center. Once you get him below about half health, he has an extra attack up there, and he becomes invincible occasionally. And he'll charge like that. But honestly, that just makes this fight easier after this point. Because I think I just hit him with a lemon there, but it's fine. You just wait for him to charge, shoot with good timing. You can even get 2 hits off sometimes. And then finish his ass off. Nice. That was pretty good. But you might have noticed, he did less contact damage than some of the normal enemies in his stage. And even, I don't know if I got hit by any of his actual attacks there. But yeah, I did once. And even his normal attacks don't do substantially more damage than the normal enemies do. It's really weird. It feels like they just buffed all the normal enemies' attack damage just for no reason, just to make the game harder. Like, X1 and X2 aren't ridiculously easy, especially for newcomers. So it's brutal to make this so much harder. Gravity Well. Called in Japan, I believe it's Black Hole is the full name, but on the pause screen, it's abbreviated to B-Hole, which is up there with some of the worst missed English things in Japanese, in the Japanese Mega Man games. It reminds me of in Mega Man 9, there's the weapon, the B-Hole Bomb, the Black Hole Bomb, that Astro Man gives you. And it's similar to Mega Man 5 having the N-Bomb as one of its weapons. This Blast Hornet, called in Japan Exploze Horneck. Another questionable one. I do think the Maverick game names get a little bit more ridiculous over time. And I kind of, while generally I'm not into like translators just completely changing names, there's another thing we can't get up to just yet. I kind of like the Mavericks having, there's another thing we can't get right now. Ton of things. A lot of collectibles in the game require abilities, the boss abilities, the special weapons. But I kind of like that the Mavericks have more straightforward names that are easier to take seriously. And funny names. Like, generally I think of them by the English names, but I could just think of the Japanese names and it makes me laugh. And that's a fun thing to have both. In Mega Man X5, there are 3 sets of names. Well, I'm sure there's other regions having their own unique names. I'm sure they don't just all translate them. But there are 2 sets of English names for the Mavericks in X5. There's the original Guns and Reploids names, which I mentioned in the first Mega Man X video, that are all changed to references to Guns N' Roses. And then the Legacy Collection 2 gave them all more normal American straightforward names. Where they're mostly just translations, but a little bit more, a little bit less weird, the Japanese ones. Although the Japanese names in X5 aren't quite as weird as other games. Yet again, something we cannot do yet. There's gonna be a lot of backtracking in this game, as you might already be able to tell. I swear sometimes there's like a mini-boss fight right here, and I don't know what triggers it. Maybe you have to beat a certain stage before coming here, or you have to come here first, as I very rarely do. Or maybe it's only in the CD version, I'm not sure. But there's a little fight here that reminds me of the Viles airship dropping cars on you at the beginning of X1 on Central Highway. Yet another one of those shutters. Often they lead to rooms like this, which are very clearly mini-boss rooms. But you might have noticed that there was one empty one in Gravity Beetle stage and one empty one in this stage. And you might be able to guess that there's something similar to X2 there. It's different though, and I take a different approach to it than I do in X1. But I'll get to that later. I like doing this as well. Just sort of jittering on the wall. Oh, this part. Once you break these, things will start falling. So I recommend going faster than that, because they do a lot of damage. Just breaking them and immediately dashing through. I don't have a lot of health going into this, but I don't think I died in Gravity Beetle stage, so... Yeah, and I got a life, so I have 3 lives right now. Not bad. I guess I'll try to do this Buster only. Since I'm so low on health. That's usually what I do if I get to a Maverick or a Robot Master and I'm low on health, is I'll just try to do it cluster only. Because obviously, your energy does not refill. Oh, he is absolutely brutal without his weakness. Jeez. Your weapon energy doesn't refill when you die in any of the games except for Mega Man Powered Up, the remake of Mega Man 1, Mega Man X, Maverick Hunter X, the PSP remake of X1, as well as, I think X8 also does that. I'm not sure if X7 does. But as you might expect, his weakness is the B-hole, or the gravity bomb. Gravity well, sorry. It's a lot like using... There's a lot of fights in the series that are basically like this, where you just launch an attack that stuns them and does damage across the whole screen. Gyro Man's weakness in Mega Man 5 is like this. And then Airman, not Airman, what's his name? The Ramen Bowl Robot Master in Mega Man 6. The boss whose weakness is Centaur Flash is like this too. There's a bunch like that in the series. Those are just the ones that came to mind. I don't remember the classic series as well as I should. I think, unless I'm tired of Mega Man, I might go straight to the classic series once I'm done with the X series. I can't promise I'll do the Zero series, because I'm not very good at Mega Man Zero. I've beaten the first game, but I find the second game to be crazy hard, especially because to get the best like power-ups, Parasitic Bomb, I don't remember what this one's called in Japan. To get the best power-ups, you have to do really well on the level and get high ranking. And I find that like damn near impossible to do. Alright, but just like X2, after beating your second Maverick, the cutscene. He is the Maverick Hunter I failed to catch last time. Bit and Byte. Their Japanese names are Vajurila and Mandarella, I think? I think they're like Buddhist things. Like Vajra. Not sure though. They are Dr. Doppler's loyal servants. And then there's this mysterious Maverick who doesn't look at all familiar. Don't look at the left side of the screen. Watch your mouth. He's not nearly as loyal to Dr. Doppler. He's got a score to settle. We'll just say that. But so now there are 3 additional bosses, 2 of which, Bit and Byte, are just strewn about through the Maverick stages just like X2, except it doesn't tell you where they are. That's one notable difference. It doesn't tell you where they are. And him, the mysterious Maverick, is a little different. There are teleporters to his stage in... He has his own little mini stage, and there are teleporters to his stage in 3 stages. These 3. And the way that I'm doing this, I want to do him last. And so I'm going to do all of... for a specific reason I'll get to when I fight him. I want to fight basically all of the other Mavericks before I get to him, and I'll do him in Volt Catfish's stage. Bit and Byte, I don't really care as much. Just like X2, there are good and bad endings here. Bit, Byte, and the Mysterious Maverick are not relevant to the ending in this game. They matter a little bit, and we'll get to that. I keep saying that. Sorry that I keep promising so much, but I'll get to it all. But I don't really care about Bit and Byte. You're supposed to either, if you beat them without their weakness, then that changes something. If you beat them with their weakness, then that changes something too. Those are the 2 states there. And personally, I prefer just beating them without their weaknesses. But for the Mysterious Maverick, I do want to beat him with his weakness. Which is why I want to go to his last, specifically after this stage and this stage. I think I'm going to do one more stage today, because that doesn't feel like enough progress for one episode. So, Blast Hornet's weapon, Parasitic Bomb, is the weakness of Toxic Seahorse. Or in Japan, his name is Acid Sea Force, which is really funny. I could go to one of the other stages first, but yeah, actually, I think I'm going to go to Blizzard Buffalo's stage. There's 2 items we can get in this level. Blizzard Buffalo. I miss those animated intros. I wish at the very least that all the FMVs were bonuses in the Legacy Collection. And I mean, I'm not 100% sure they're not, but I'm pretty sure they aren't. It's an ice stage, so lots of ice physics. It's generally not too much of an issue. You just like slide and you can't go up slopes without jumping. And you'll go very fast sometimes. That's just 2 hits. It's still crazy how much damage they do. Like, it's not impossible to deal with. It's just so much more than every other game. It always throws me off. I don't have a sub-tank, so I don't know why I would go for that. Or that. Ooh, are we gonna see Bitter Bite? No, okay, good. I very specifically want to get one of the items from this level before fighting Fight, especially. It makes the fight with him much easier. And it's just helpful in general. And actually what I'm doing here is kind of like starting with Chill... okay, here's that teleporter. I don't know if I would remember to show that, so I guess it's good that I fell. There's one of the teleporters to the Mysterious Maverick stage. No idea who he is, obviously. But it's kind of like starting with Chill Penguin, the item I want to get here. There's this up here that we can't get right now. Maybe... No, actually, I think you can. It's just really hard. But I will be right back to that, so I'm not going to do that right now. No, I forget that it destroys his thing first and he comes back. Oh. But it is a fine idea to come here first to get this, because, once again, it's the leg parts you want. Enhance your mobility in the air. It's true. You'll be able to dash left, right, or even straight up into the air. The air dash is so useful, and I love doing this. This game adds... this game renames it to the variable air dash, which allows you to use it to go straight up, as it's going to demonstrate here. Dash left, dash right. Oh, okay, it doesn't show right, because it's obvious. I guess it's just the same. Forward, back, whatever. Yeah, you can go straight up. You just hold up and press the button. It can be a little tricky to line yourself up just right for that, but it's really useful. Oh, I got frozen. Like, it's fine. The checkpoint's right before this, but I still would rather not die. Oh, like I said, it can be a little tricky to line this up. I think I recommend starting over here. Once again, if you dash before jumping, if you do a dash jump, then you can't air dash after doing that. You only get 1 dash per jump, regardless if you do air dash or not. There we go, that's cool. Cool. And there we are. Now, Blizzard Buffalo is... He's not too hard. He does a lot of damage, but he's generally not too difficult to dodge. He is who I used to start with until I got better at Gravity Beetle. But as soon as he hits a wall, he'll charge the other way. So you don't want to fall behind him. Oh, he does a bunch of damage, though. Oh, you gotta be real careful with your jumps. And he throws these that can really fuck you up. Oh, he does that big beam as well. I have a sub-tank, but no energy in it. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's it. Oh, it freezes you. I thought it killed you. It's been a while since I've dealt with that. That's not too bad. I'm doing somewhat alright right now. It'd be pretty cool to be able to beat him without his weakness. Oh, no, I'm dead. Unless... Yeah, no, I didn't have any energy. Okay. I get 2 more tries, though. If I get really close and then fail again, I might just kill myself quickly to move on. But... Alright. I haven't really thought to mention, but my goal will be to make videos around 30 minutes. Less than that feels a little too short, and longer than that feels a little bit too long. I think 30 minutes is a pretty good length. I might change my mind on that, but that's where I'm at right now. Oh, this is a game, like the series in general, but especially this game, will teach you how to press 3 buttons at once. But, like, I'm not gonna... Like, it's not like the days of 11-minute time limits on YouTube videos. Like, I'm not gonna cut it suddenly or have to speed up footage to make it fit the time. Ooh, nice. I'm doing much better this time. Nice. Nice. So I'll still, like, it's just when I get around 30, I'll take the next good opportunity to stop. For instance, I think I'm gonna stop here. That's pretty cool. That's faster progress than I usually make in this game. Beating 3 Mavericks in 30 minutes. Pretty happy with that. Didn't get nearly as many items I got in the first 3 Maverick stages in X1 and X2, but that's just how this game is. There are very few items that are just freebies when you get to them. Like, even the 2 I got in that stage weren't, like, super obvious. Well, one of them was, but I couldn't easily get it until the other one. Frost Shield. Doesn't look much like a shield, right? I don't really know why it's called that. It's really more of like an ice drill. When it explodes, it drops a little bit on the ground. That forms a little, like, caltrop kind of thing. It like like a lot of the Mega Man games, the weapons are pretty situational in this game. Most of them are not super useful in general. A few of them are pretty good, but it's not like X1. Anyway, though, I think that's where I'm going to stop for this episode. So I'll see you guys next time.